Do you think there will ever be another Tom Moorhouse?
No, I don't. I mean, there's probably big people that's just a good hand, but that not have all the factors. You know, for this award, he fits it perfectly because he is probably one of the best cowboys that there is.
Well, I was born in 1946, and I lived in this house most of the time. I worked for the 460s 3 years before I went to college at Sul Ross. And I stayed down there for 5 years, came back home, and been here ever since. When I was small, there wasn't any electricity or running water here. But we didn't know any better, so it didn't bother us. I was raised here with my 3 brothers. We went with my dad a lot, cowboying. We learned a lot from him. My dad moved a bunkhouse in. We stayed in the bunkhouse, some of us, and I didn't get much of education because I day worked all the time.
You know, he has that look and that style, and his brother John, he'd always laugh, said, dang Tom Moorhouse, he'll tell them old goofy stories and talk funny, and he said, next thing you know, all the women in the room are over there listening to his stories and giggling at him, you know, but he just kind of got that mannerism, you know, where he...
Getting to grow up where my granddad did and my dad did, and getting handed down the reins from past generations. My granddad wasn't as much of a cowboy, not to say he wasn't, but he was more of a cattleman, took care of the land, and my dad was a whole lot of a cowboy and ran a crew and good with men and working cattle. Just to be behind those 2 guys is pretty big boots to fill. And after I've come home, I was going to go kind of off, and he really encouraged me to stay here, and he's just been supportive, and there's been some things that I want to do that wouldn't be what he would have done first choice, but it's like other people have said about him, is that he was born a century too late, and he was just always engrossed with being a cowboy and not having to try to be something. It was just the way he operated. You just had to do things the cowboy way, and it wasn't just for fun or sport. It just the way he ran calves or work was just the most efficient way he knew possible, and that just comes from learning how to make the most of what you have.
You know, I think there's not probably very many people alive that have rode a horse as far as Tom has. He loves sleeping on the ground in his bedroll, and he loves the wagon. Here, it wasn't a show, you know. When you went on the wagon with Tom, I mean, it was a real deal. And he didn't do it for a show. He had ranches leased everywhere, so it was really the only feasible way to work the country. You know, we'd go and take the wagon and stay there and work that ranch or that piece of country, and then move, and then. You could tell he loves that way of life. I mean, he's kind of come to mind, if you ask me, who I would know that deserves some recognition like this, and it'd be Tom.
I guess I know Tom since I was 2 years old. My dad went to work for Tom's dad when I was 2 years old. Tom he just darn good cowboy. I mean, He's just good all-around cowboy and good man. We're just always there for each other. If I needed something, Tom give me his shirt off his back, and I'd do the same for Tom and his whole family. I've never seen Tom Moorhouse mad in my life at anybody. I don't know how he kept from it, the way some of them always done him, but Tom just old Tom, just hard to beat. What else can you say about a good man?
I mean, like I say, there's just not too many people like him, and that I've ever been around anyway. And that award that he'll be receiving, which he deserves it completely, but Tom was kind of on the bubble there because he could have been the Golden Spur recipient too, you know. This fits him better because he'd rather be known for a cowboy things versus a ranch owner or manager or cowman, you know. I mean, that's his love's always been the cowboying part of it. He'd always used to say that this managing stuff's getting in the way of my cowboying, you know, because that's just what he likes to do. You know, he'd rather be at the wagon camped out with a bunch of men than anything. You know, I mean, that's just his life. I think I heard him say this one time, but the most effective way to work cattle is when you got the cook, you got the cowboys, and the horses where you're working. Yeah, he kind of knows how to figure out the situation. That's true. You know, a lot of times slower is faster. Sometimes you think you're doing something that's backwards to everybody else, but it'll end up saving time before the day's over, you know, because you get your job done. And that's some of the qualities that Tom has, you know, but that's something that not everybody can do. I mean, I think the good Lord gives us all our, you know, little tools that we need in our life. That's what we're going to do. And he blessed Tom with that one for sure. You know, like I say, he's just a good man. He's a good role model to young people. You know, he's kind of, in my opinion, the total package, you know, and just there's not too many people like him.
I don't know how it'd be if I wasn't natural, because that's sort of all I've ever done in my lifetime. I've spent the biggest part of my lifetime on the horse, and I like it. And that's about it.
Well, all I got from Tom was, Bubba, it's embarrassing, but I really need someone to brag on me. I'll help you out, Tom.